If your stomach drops when your phone buzzes because you already know it's about to turn into a fight or into a 2-hour reassurance session, then this video is for you. I'm Lise Leblanc, therapist, author, and life coach, and I work with men recovering from psychologically abusive relationships with women who show strong narcissistic or borderline traits. And just to be clear, this isn't about labeling anyone. Texting habits alone obviously are not a diagnosis. I'm simply describing the types of messages most men commonly get from an untreated partner with borderline personality disorder. Number one is the guilt bomb. So if you've ever gotten texts like, I guess I never mattered to you, or I hate myself, I ruin everything, or I knew you were going to leave me eventually, or I'd be better off dead, that's a guilt bomb. And here's why it works. It doesn't show up like an accusation. It shows up like someone falling apart and breaking down. So you read it and your whole system goes, oh no, I have to fix this right now. And so you feel trapped because if you don't answer immediately, it escalates. And if you do reply, you're suddenly in a full-time job, reassuring, apologizing, calming, proving you care, not because you did something horrible, but because taking space suddenly feels cruel. A boundary starts to feel like you're doing something horribly wrong. And you stop asking whether this is healthy and you start asking, what do I say so that this doesn't get any worse? Number two are fake breakups. And these are the texts that sound like the relationship is over, but it's not actually over. So it might be, maybe we shouldn't talk anymore, or I can't do this, or I'm done, or you'd be so much happier without me. And these are texts that push you away. And if you don't chase her, it turns into, why don't you care? Why are you leaving me? I knew you were just using me for sex. And now you're locked in. You're defending your behavior or your character. You're explaining something that you didn't even initiate. She threatened to leave, but somehow you're now the one on trial. And that's the trap, because the breakup wasn't about ending the relationship. It was about testing whether you would chase her and fight for her. Number three is splitting by text. And this one is powerful because just as the highs are extreme, so are the lows. On the idealization side, you don't just get, I love you, I miss you. You get these intense, intoxicating messages that make you feel chosen, seen, and deeply loved. But then something shifts. You may not know what triggered it, but the texts swing hard into the other direction. Now it's, you're a liar, you're selfish, you're a piece of shit, don't talk to me again, F you. And you go from being all good to all bad in a matter of minutes. And you don't even always know why. And because it's happening over text, it's even more destabilizing. There's no voice, no facial expression, no chance to soften the blow, just words on a screen, sharp, absolute, final. And if you try to call, she probably won't answer, or you'll regret calling. And so what do? You reread the text, you hunt for the moment where things went wrong, you try to defend yourself, you try to get back to the good version of her who loved you just an hour ago. And that's the hook. You're no longer texting to connect, you're texting to get out of the danger zone. Number four is what I call the prove it texts. And these ones look sweet on the surface, but they're really not about connection. They're about proof. Do you love me? Do you miss me? Are we okay? Promise. Swear you're not going to leave me. And at first you respond because you care and you want her to feel secure. But then you notice that it's a never ending test. It's a loop. And now you're not texting because you want to, you're texting because you feel like you have to. Number five is a mind reading text. And these ones often start out small but turn into full-blown disaster situations. So let's say you send a normal neutral text. Maybe it's not as long as usual, or maybe you're a little bit slower. And then you get, why are you mad? You don't want to talk to me? I can tell you're annoyed. You regret being with me. You're bored of me, aren't you? And now you're defending your mood. You're defending your feelings, maybe even your character. And you start trying to explain that you're not mad, that you love her, that you were just busy. But now your day is being hijacked because you have to stabilize her before you can do anything else. And that's how texting can turn into a full-time job. Number 6 is twisting your words around. And this is one of the most frustrating types of text you'll receive from an untreated borderline partner, because you can send the exact same message 2 different days and it's taken 2 completely different ways. Yesterday you text, "I'm going to bed early," and she replies, "I wish I was in your arms. Sleep well, my love." And today you text the exact same thing, "I'm going to bed early," and suddenly it's, "You're shutting me out. You don't care. Who are you with?" So something that didn't trigger her yesterday is getting all distorted today. Your words are being taken out of context. A single phrase might get isolated, your tone gets rewritten, and then the entire conversation gets rebuilt around that twisted interpretation. And you're sitting there thinking, "That's not what I meant. I was just trying to go to bed." But here's the trap. You can't say it perfectly when the meaning is being decided by her emotional state, not by your actual words. And over time, this can make you feel like you're going crazy because you're defending things that you didn't even say. Number 7 is constant social surveillance and interrogation spirals. So let's say you're out with friends, or you're at work, or maybe you're just driving, just living your life, and the texts start coming. "Where are you? Who are you with? Why aren't you answering? Send me a photo. Who did you talk to? Are there women there?" And at first, these texts might come across as concern, but you'll soon realize it's her insecurities that are texting, and you've already been convicted. So no matter what you reply, it becomes the next thing to question. Your explanation is twisted into proof that you're hiding something, and there's nothing you can say to satisfy her. And so you stop being fully present where you are and you're stuck on your phone. Not because you're guilty, but because you've been trained to manage your anxiety. And over time, your life gets smaller and smaller without you ever agreeing to it. Number 8 is crisis texting, and this is the emergency mode texts. "I'm spiraling. I'm not okay. SOS. I need help." And here's what it does to you. It turns your phone into a fire alarm because the subtext is, "Drop everything and regulate me right now. And if you don't, the fire's going to spread and it will be all your fault." And after enough of these texts, your body learns the pattern. The buzz isn't a text anymore. It's that fire alarm. And you start living like a firefighter on call. Number 9 is the apology that still blames you. So maybe you finally get that "I'm sorry," and you think it's progress. But then you read the rest of the sentence and it's, "I'm sorry I freaked out, but you triggered me." Or, "I wouldn't be acting like this if you reassured me." "I went too far, but you invalidated me." And that's not accountability. It admits the blow up, sure, but then it hands you the job of preventing the next one. So you adjust, you apologize, you explain, you choose softer words, you drop boundaries and stop taking space. And again, your world is getting smaller and smaller. Number 10 is the cold shutdown text. So these texts are those really short, abrupt texts like, "Okay, fine, whatever, okay, LOL, thumbs up." It's not a conversation, it's a shutdown. You're being shut out. And what this does is it makes you want to get back in connection. So maybe you apologize, you chase, you're just trying to get that version of her that was warm 5 minutes ago. And a lot of men tell me that this makes them feel powerless because they're not being yelled at, they're being erased. And it's delivered in these tiny, dismissive texts that are hard to call out without sounding dramatic. But the impact is real. It's emotional punishment by silence. And then, often, after some time passes, you get, "I'm sorry, I miss you, I hate fighting," or "You're the only one who understands me." And if you've been living in anxiety after she withdraws, that text hits you like oxygen. And you probably soften, you re engage, you let things slide. not because anything got resolved, but because the connection is back and you don't want to lose it again. And that's how the cycle stays alive. The rupture is painful and the relief is addictive. So there you have it, 10 types of texts, but this isn't really about texting. It's what happens when one person can't steady themselves emotionally and the phone becomes the place where they try to do that. And if you're the partner, you need to understand that if your phone feels like a leash, that's not love, that's conditioning. And if you need help untangling from a toxic dynamic, consider reaching out to a therapist in your area who specializes in borderline personality disorder, and consider checking out my toxic relationship recovery program that I linked below. If this video helped you, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and leave a comment, and I'll see you in the next one.